Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you so much for coming and contributing your work and bringing your family and friends to hear your work and others' work. I want to give a big round of applause. Thank you to John Capraro and Patrick Franks for helping me edit the book this year. It wouldn't have happened, well, it wouldn't have happened as fast without you guys, so I really appreciate it. And again, I'd like to thank all of the writers for submitting their work. I know it's kind of the scariest thing in the world to send your work off someplace where you have no idea who's reading it and how they're judging it. We had a lot of great entries. Every entry had something unique and fascinating about it. So we really appreciate you taking the time to send your work out to us. And I hope there are no typos in your copies. Blurb is, it was a double fist fight between me and Blurb, trying to get this edited correctly and make sure there weren't any typos. So if there are, I really apologize. But we keep doing our best to make the process cleaner and more representative of your work every time. So hopefully it looks good and is what you were hoping to see when you were thinking of putting your work in print with us. So kind of the order of the evening is, I guess I can introduce myself and tell you a little bit about the book. Let me get a copy here. My name's Andy Shook, and I started writing programs here almost 4 years ago when I started working here. Being a writer myself and turning into a librarian so I could write at night. As I'm sure a lot of you have your professional job or day jobs, and then your night job is your writing. I thought, well, what better way to combine both of them than to come to work and be able to do something like this? And what better way to kind of show off the talent that we have in our community than to have a book every year? So this is what we've been doing for the last 3 years. And some years we have a theme, and sometimes that theme just comes out of the writing that we've read. And Patrick was good enough to select this year's theme. And after, of course, reading and it seems to apply to the majority of the work that we read. So I think that it's a hard thing to do, but I think Pat did a really nice job of keeping it general, but also specific, if that makes sense. So for tonight, we're just asking each of the writers to come up and read a portion of the work they've submitted. If you've submitted poems, you can read each of the poems that you've submitted, or just the one if there's only one. Excuse me. If you've written stories, we're asking if you could read maybe a page or two, just to, for time's sake. We don't want to go over too much. We know all your time is precious. I'm totally fumbling over my subject-verb agreement there. John will probably give me a written result, but let's get started at the top. I am going to introduce the writer. Each writer sent me a copy of their bio, just so we can have a little better, you can have a little better feel for who the writer is and where they're coming from in their writing perspective. So to start things off tonight, we have Reagan Byers. Reagan Byers has written poems and short stories since the age of 6. The majority of her work is inspired by life experience and the complexity of emotion. During her internship with First Step, the project on domestic and sexual violence, she created a poster with writings from survivors to aid their healing process and serve as an outreach tool to the community. She is a mother of 2 young sons and the wife of a naval reservist. Please welcome Reagan Byers.
Okay, so I get to be first. I'm so thrilled. Okay, this first piece I have is called Committed. Got me a good woman? Of course I do. She makes me dinner, cleans my ashtrays, washes my clothes, buys my smokes, gives me whatever I want. She never questions anything, says okay to everything, because she loves me. She needs me. I'm a truth teller. I told those kids what she's worth, what they're worth. She heard that truth, and she still came back. Hell yeah, I'm that good. I'm teaching those boys how to be men. I'm showing that girl how she's supposed to act. My woman knows respect. She knows to get exactly what I want from the store, to kiss me the minute she walks in from work, to answer my questions. Why are you late? Why do you have to stay? It shouldn't take that long to get home. Maybe something, I'm hungry. I don't fucking care what time it is. She says she's always there for me. Damn straight you are. And my next one is called Premature Expectoration. I think in this age of the internet and chat rooms, we've all dealt with certain people like this. So here it goes. Angry little online warrior, brandishing your keyboard mason or screen shield, you rant and spew and snarl and splatter cliche-filled hate bombs across the digital universe. You think yourself mighty with the help of a mouse. It's too easy to let your mouth run when your feet don't have to do the same. Your false bravery eclipsed only by your charade of intelligence. Big fighter in a little ring, it takes little effort to declare victory. Credibility is not achieved through an endless tirade, and those limitless keystrokes will only increase the size of your ego. Lay down your weapons and walk away. You defeat no one but yourself. Your mouth and brain are hopelessly
Next up we have Patrick Franks. Patrick says, I was fascinated with word usage while listening to comics, politicians, and a few women. Through this, I learned to become a patient observationalist instead of a procrastinator. Patrick Franks.
Get it done. If you don't finish anything, what have you started? Work and play. Most of the day, all week, present your tidy thoughts and tidy sums. Half the night, one day a week, a present of tight beats and tidy rhythms on sturdy, tight skins of rhythmic drums.
Patrick gets kind of robbed because his summer's so short. That first one was a 2-line one. I'm sure everybody was like, is that it? Next up we have Jim, how do you pronounce your last name? Jezorowski. Okay. Thank you. Next with Jim, give me bio.
I didn't know.
And he says, I guess I got to get my announcer voice going for this one. And now, one of the premier poets of Starfish Family Services, Common Point Youth Crisis Shelter, where he doubles as a social worker, case manager, May I introduce you to Jim Jezrowski.
Thank you. I really didn't know what to write. And actually, I just happened to be, I was homesick one day and was feeling kind of, so I got on the computer and was playing around with it, went to Microsoft Word and just jotted down some thoughts. I had no idea what we selected. The first one is called depression. Someone once told me depression is all in my head. So I thought, what now? More things to dread? Depression is not how you act, but more how you feel. Happiness, laughter, confidence is just some of what it can steal. Depression is sneaky, like a thief in the night. Challenge your feelings, confused of what's wrong and what's right. Depression is an illness believed by quite a few. Some say it's a heavy feeling, others just say they have the blues. Whatever it is, it does not have to be. Depression can be cured, just come and ask me. The other one is sickness. I was sick. Being sick drags you down. There is no energy. Not feeling like eating or playing. When sickness strikes, it comes power-packed, and it somehow stays and stays and leaves you lying on your back. Your nose runs, your eyes water, and you sniffle 830 times a minute, and you think to yourself, how did I get it? Being sick throws you for a loop when all you want is a hot bowl of soup. Being sick is no fun. You can't go outside, ride your bike, or run. With medicine, you try to get better. Why, you don't even have the strength to write a letter. But you rest. Take it easy and do your best to get that yuck out of you. Because you don't want to be blue. All you want is for the sun to shine through.
Next up we have Ralph Koshnitsky. Did I pronounce that even remotely right?
Right on the money.
Thank you. Ralph asked me to read this quote before he speaks. You can believe you have a calling, and until it is fulfilled, salting the earth with your God-given gift is your present to give, and others present to unwrap. Because you have only just begun to show and tell the world.